Hello, welcome back to Solo Adventures. My name is Livy and I'm here back again with another solo game review. So this is going to be another game from the BGG PnP Solitaire contest. Please check out the link in the description below to find the files for this game and for every other game that has currently been entered in the contest. Today we are taking a look at a game that is called Cheeseboard Deluxe, and it was created by designer Christopher Menart. So in Cheeseboard Deluxe, what we are attempting to do is we are attempting to load one of those fancy little cheeseboard appetizer type trays with as much food as possible. So this is kind of a Tetris-esque sort of feeling that also has a little bit of an element of roll and writes. So, is this game a delicious delight for the senses, or is it a total culinary disaster? Let's find out. Here we are, all set up for a game of Cheeseboard. I have kind of a fancy setup for this, but really all you need is just a printout of the level, something to write with, and one die. So I printed this out in full color and laminated it so I can use wet erase or dry erase markers, and I can use it multiple times. That's just how I usually do my games that are roll and writes or other games that you have to write on. And this is level 1. Kind of a fun thing about this is that there's a little bit of backstory here. So this level is called Housewarming. This will be the first party in your new home. You've always wanted to try your hand at cheeseboards, but it's harder than you thought. Better hit the ground running. Your first impression in the new neighborhood depends on it. So here we have a little bit of setup. We're making a cheeseboard for a housewarming party, and this is what we have to work with. So we're going to be making a delicious cheeseboard appetizer spread of Swiss cheese, salami, pickles, grapes, baguettes, and olives. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to fit as much food on this sheet as possible. So first thing that we do at the beginning of the round is we roll a die, and I got a 2. So if you get a 1 to a 3, you start on this board, and if you get a 4 to a 6, you start on this board. But we got a 2, so we're starting here. And our starting piece is a fork and a spoon. So this is a special piece that we only will draw one time in this whole game. And it will get us started. So what I can do is I can draw this shape in any orientation that I want. The only thing is that you can't flip them, you can only rotate them. Maybe I'm going to put it right side up, so the first shape you draw has to encompass this starting square. Alright, so there's my fork and spoon. And I'm just going to keep track of what round I made this shape on. It'll be helpful later. So now that we drew on this board, we have to draw a shape on this board. The fork and the spoon that we drew on the last step covers a Swiss, olive, pickle, and grape. So that means that we can draw any of these shapes. I'm going to draw, Now, the shape that we draw has to be one of these default shapes. The ones here in the pink boxes are the upgraded shapes, and we're not allowed to use those until we draw a shape that goes over the upgrade space. So as of right now, I think I want to draw, let's draw an olive. Like that. I'll mark that I still made this on the first turn, and then I'll make a little mark to show that was the last shape that I drew on this round. So when the round is over, we start again. Roll the dice. Here's a 5. That means I'm drawing on this board first this time. So the next shape that we draw has to be according to the shape that we drew right beforehand. And the shape that we draw next has to connect to the shape that we drew on this board the last time. So now I have the option to draw Swiss cheese, and that is it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape and I'm just gonna flip it around a little bit. So we're getting close to the cheese upgrade over here. There we go. The second round. And we can draw a salami, a pickle, or a baguette. I think the pickle will probably fit in the best here, so we're just gonna slide a little pickle there. And that's round 2, and we ended it there. All right, so 5. This turn we start on this board, and we have to draw an olive, a baguette, or a cheese. And it has to touch this shape that we drew last turn. It can't just touch this one. So, I think I'm going to put the baguette in here because now we have access to the upgraded or fancy cut of cheese. And that was the third round. Okay, so now on this board we have to draw either a Swiss or baguette, and it has to touch this. Well, now we have the fancy Swiss, and so we can use the more compact version and put it there. And we end the round. 2. All right, so we draw here again, salami, grape, or pickle. Let's draw a grape. And now we have to draw a salami or a Swiss. Let's fit a Swiss in here. Five, so we start here. And it needs to be an olive. But that's okay because this will fit in really nice here. Olive or salami. Going to put a salami right here. Starting on this board now, it has to be olive, Swiss, or pickle. Let's make it a pickle, turn it sideways. And now we have an upgraded salami. Over here we have to draw a... Now, when you go over the upgrade square, that doesn't mean that you picked up this food, so I can't actually draw a salami now on this turn. I can only draw an olive or a baguette. And I'm going to draw an olive. One. Grape or pickle? Going to draw a pickle. So pickle, salami, grape. I really want to get that there. Is there any way to do it? The trick is, though, is that if I make a shape here, that means the next turn I have to make another shape that touches that. And it's possible that we can get stuck in this corner over here when I want to get all of this tasty real estate over here. I'm going to use Swiss. All right, next round. 3. Olive or pickle. So this space is pretty much not usable now because I want to be moving more in this direction. Let's put the pickle here so we can get the upgraded baguette. Now we need a pickle or an olive on this side. Oh, I have made a mistake. I forgot that I do not have access to the fancy olive, and so therefore I cannot put that one there. That was totally my fault. I'm gonna be a little bit stuck then. And since I can't... Yeah, I'm just gonna have to make do with what I can over here. So I'm not gonna be able to fit an olive in that space. It's gonna have to be a pickle. I think probably the best way to do it is like this. So, next round. 5, so we already have to draw something here again, and we can draw a salami or a pickle. Salami doesn't fit. Don't have fancy pickle, otherwise I could put it there. So we are done. We're stuck. We can't do any more on this board, so we can count up our score. And in this game, the lower the score, the better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I think that's everything. So 37. Oh, 38, 39. So final score is 39 on this board. That is terrible. But we're just going to continue. So when we're done on this board and we can't do anything else, then that means that just every turn after this we only work on this board. So it's a good thing I wrote down where my last one was, otherwise I would have forgotten. There's 8. Okay, so we need to draw pickle or olive. Let's draw the pickle. Grape or Swiss? Oh, I have fancy grape. I forgot to mark that off. That was the reason why I got stuck over there. At least I got something. So we're going to put grape here. Pickle or salami. Let's put a pickle. And now we have a fancy pickle. Olive grape Swiss. So olive's not really going to fit. We can put a grape sideways, a fancy grape, and put it like that. So salami pickle. Salami. We can sneak the last salami in here. Round 13. So let's count up the score on this board. A little bit better than this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, nope, that is part 17. 17. So my grand total is 39 from that board and 17 from that board. So that gives me a grand total of 56. 56 is my final score on this board. So we can check our score against how they are ranked or evaluated in this in the manual. Let's see, where's the page? Here we go. So it says if we get 21 or more, our score means try again. So I guess in essence, I lost spectacularly. I would have needed to get a score between 16 to 20 to have at least average. So yeah, not super great. So anyway, what are my final thoughts about this game? Let's talk about it. As usual, I'm going to start breaking this down from the build perspective. Now, from the build perspective, this game is ridiculously easy. You just have to print the sheets out, and there you've got it. You just need a dice, or you probably could also use just like a coin that you could flip, and just something to write with. In practice, I think that it's really not very practical to be printing out a sheet like this every time you want to play this, because even if you do it in black and white, it can be kind of a lot of ink. And I really think this game shines the best when it's in full color. It really helps you see the purple of the grapes and the green of the pickles, and the upgrade spaces really pop out more. So my recommendation would be to print this out in full color and then either laminate it or put it in one of those clear plastic page protector things that you put in binders. And then you can use a dry erase marker or wet erase marker, whichever you prefer, to play this game. I personally prefer wet erase just because there's a lot of drawing that's very close to each other on kind of a small grid. And when I use dry erase, sometimes my hand kind of smudges it. So, just my opinion. Something kind of odd about this game is the way that its files are laid out. So basically these boards, and there's a lot of different levels, a lot of different cheese boards for you to fill up with delicious food. These are interspersed in between explanations or instructions for each of the levels. And this is a little bit odd because I would really have preferred to have all of the rules in one place, so I could have very easily printed out just a rulebook and then have all of the boards on another. I kind of get why the creator might have done this, but personally I like to print out the boards in full size, and then the instructions I print out in a format that I can make into a little booklet. So I don't need all of the instructions to be on full-size paper, especially since a lot of the writing doesn't fill up the whole page. That's just a little nitpick, really. It's pretty minor. It doesn't really matter in the long run. I also wish that the boards were a more uniform size. And this is probably just me being weird, but I really like to trim off everything that isn't necessary on my print and play games. So I will always cut off the borders and make it kind of nice and tidy. But the problem with this and this game is that the pages end up not the same size. So it's a little bit awkward to keep these in a stack. And I'm probably just totally neurotic, but yeah. Little things like that really matter to me for some reason. I think this is most of the major criticism that I have for this game, because actually I really like this game. I think it is super awesome and super fun. I keep coming back to Cheeseboard and replaying the different levels. I find it just so playful and different. I haven't really seen another game like this that has kind of this whole Tetris mechanic, and I really like the going back and forth between the two boards. In addition, the designer has really given this game flavor, if you'll pardon the pun, by giving a special name for each level and then actually giving some flavor text for the scenario as to why you are making a cheese board. And it could be anything between you're hosting a house party or you are attempting to calm tense political situations with the United Nations with your delicious powers of cheese, salami, and grapes. That's great, and I love it. I wish that more games had these little personal touches, and especially since the theme is so quirky and unusual. I have never played a game that involved putting food on a cheese board. So in a world where there's so many games about delving dungeons and being a Mediterranean merchant, not that I don't like diving dungeons, which I do, and I like being a Mediterranean merchant. It's really fun to be a cheese board architect, whatever that is. As the levels go on, there are more mechanics. So I only covered the first level. There are other things like the toothpicks and the ramekin and different starting pieces and multiple starting places on each board that really adds some variety and some fun. I like that you can almost kind of string this together a little bit like a campaign, because you start at the lower levels and there is, I guess, the ability to fail it like I did. If you score 21 or more, then it just says try again, so I guess that means you lose. But each scenario you could kind of loosely string together as if it was some kind of a story, a campaign. What's wonderful about this game is that it's also really easy to play multiplayer. All you have to do is make sure that every person has their own board, and then you just roll a die at the beginning of every turn for everybody. So that's really all you have to do, is just roll the die for everybody, and everybody then has the same chance to try to make the most full cheese board possible. So this would be a really fun game for maybe like, maybe I'm lame, but I think it would be a fun party game. Especially if it was just something kind of casual that you were doing, or maybe even if you were kind of doing it as an appetizer game while you were serving a cheese board. And since cheese boards are used for appetizers or delicious little snacks between courses, I think that's also what this game would be. is a tasty appetizer for a longer game night or a little snack between longer games. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a fan of Cheeseboard. What more do I have to say about this? I think that the potential of Cheeseboard could be pushed farther. Now, I think this game is already bursting with flavor and fun little details. I think it would be really easy to turn this game into a proper campaign. So by that I mean, like, if you score a certain score or lower, you would get a special item going forward into the next level, or there would be different abilities that you unlock over time, some kinds of statistics or something that you can change, or if there was a consequence if you failed one of the boards, what happens, you have to start the whole campaign over, or that, and an even stronger story, kind of knitting everything together, I think would make this just so fun and irresistible. I think this game could also really benefit from some kind of like an achievement system, or else maybe a mechanic by which if you unlock every upgraded cut for the food items, you get a score bonus at the end, or you get a negative if you don't unlock all of them. I think that'd be kind of fun. The completionist in me, when I'm playing these, I'm always kind of going like, oh, if only I could have unlocked the fancy pickle. I want to do this level again so I can get the fancy pickle. So if you haven't already, I highly suggest that you check out the game Cheeseboard. It's lots of fun and you can get it for free right now. If you haven't tried out this game, I highly suggest it. I think you will have a lot of fun with it. It has a lot of replayability, since it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get a perfect score on any one of these boards. And there are just so many boards, so many levels. And they have different themes too. Some of these are like a fruit salad, and we have fondue in here. It's great. I like it. It tickles my fancy. This game is perfect for families, perfect for partners, perfect for solo play, because you can really spend a lot of time sitting and kind of puzzling out what you want to do next. You can really take all the time that you want to attempt to formulate the perfect strategy. And this is something that I love about solo gaming, is just the quiet, meditative sort of feeling that solo gaming has for me. It feels very reflective and calm and quiet, and just having the joy of being able to write on paper and roll a little die. For me, that sounds like a perfect way to unwind after a long day. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I've been completely blown away by the amount of positive support that I have had from so many people, and I am extremely grateful, really, to all of you, especially to the designers of these games. You are all amazing. You are all rock stars. Thank you so much for putting your talent into making these cool and unique gaming experiences for all of us. If you like what I do here, consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to release another video every single day leading up to the opening of the voting for the Solitaire PnP contest. So thank you very much. Hope to see you in the next video, and bye-bye.